Today we will be looking at a bullpup that is so short it makes Danny DeVito look positively tall. Hello and welcome to AAR On Air. Today we'll be looking at the latest bullpup offering from Weihrauch. It is the HW100k. This is so short it's almost a pistol. It's only 73.5 centimeters long, including the supplied silencer. Remove that though from the end of the diminutive 31 centimeter barrel and the whole thing is only 56 centimeters long. But it is probably one of the loudest air guns around. Still, look on the bright side. Here in the UK, we can't shoot pigeons anymore, but this thing, shot empty without its silencer on, will deafen them if nothing else. But really, it is amazing just what difference the silencer makes. In spite of its diminutive size, it does actually feel pretty heavy until, that is, you shoulder the HW100k and then all the weight becomes perfectly balanced and not at all noticeable. So, let's have a walk round this little black number from Germany, shall we? Yes, it is all black. Well, apart from the grey inlay of the pistol grip. It has the by now familiar rubberized body, which has that real quality feel to it. It's straight from the larger siblings such as the HW110 rifle. But then you look at the ambidextrous grip and it's straight from the HW44. Indeed, I had to look twice because from the underside it looks like it is the HW44 pistol locked into a short stock. But I can tell you it isn't. But it is pretty obvious where the grip shape and material and the idea came from. But again, with the cost of research and development, who can blame manufacturers? And if it works, and it does perfectly, why not use these things? Whilst we're talking about the grip, the trigger guard is also moulded into the grip and has a very sensible curved recess to rest your finger to aid trigger discipline and of course adding to the safety. The trigger itself is a two-stage item as you would expect, but has a wonderful feel to it and a pull weight of just 3/4 pounds. The trigger position can also be adjusted to find that comfort zone. In front of the trigger and guard there is very little room before you run out of stock and arrive at the air cylinder and barrel. But Weihrauch have still managed to squeeze in a small rail for a bipod or the like. The air cylinder is diminutive in size and has the familiar and accurate air gauge. Sadly, you need to look down the business end again to read this, which is never a good idea in my mind. The filler port is here and also has a protector to keep the dirt and muck out of it, which again is straight from the larger siblings. This cylinder is good for about 60 shots before finishing up in the yellow and potentially losing accuracy. But 60 full power shots was quite a shock for me. The scope rail and barrel straps are beautifully made and the scope rail is built so you can use either Weaver or Picatinny mounted scopes, whichever is your preference. Moving back to the magazine, well, it is again familiar to anyone owning a Weihrauch. And this being the 177, it takes a 14 round magazine, of which 2 are supplied in the box. Again, it's simple, it's metal, it's heavy, and it's very effective, and you can easily load it one-handed. There is, as always, a white indicator on the magazine to show you when your last shot is up. But this is entirely dependent on the position when you initially load it into the gun, and I've usually found that pretty irrelevant. Cocking the gun is via the side arm and is super smooth and easy to use, oozing quality again, and can be used without taking your hand off the trigger, or certainly without coming off target. The safety is to the rear and can be used from either side. The interesting thing is, though, it's exactly the same with all the other Weihrauchs, is unless the gun is cocked, you can't apply it into safe. Technically, it's already in safe. Apparently, it's done that way to help protect the internals somewhere. There is a plastic cheek rest on top, and this adds to a certain level of comfort, where some bullpups simply have you resting on the metal of the receiver. The butt pad is high quality, cushioned, rubberized, and is adjustable for height. So what about the power? As usual, out with the chrono. This saw consistent figures with a maximum spread of only 8 feet per second and a maximum power of 11.95 foot-pounds. So, bang on really for the UK. Target work then. Out to 40 metres on a reasonably calm day, just a light wind. Not bad at all, really. I was more than pleased with those results. You've probably gathered by now that the theme running through here is quality. Now, this gun is not cheap at £1,140 UK, which initially does sound like a lot of money for a small item. But what it doesn't have in size, it has in build quality, accuracy, reliability, and desirability for those who can afford its price tag. There is, of course, the 10cm larger HW100 BP sibling if you prefer your bullpup slightly larger. That has an overall length of 83.5 centimetres and its barrel is 41 centimetres. Now, I've never made any bones about being a Weihrauch fan, and I have and do own a few. And they would be one of the last guns from my collection I would want to give up or part with. I realise it's not for everyone because of the price tag and the lower shot count, but it makes up for it in ownership experience. If you get a chance to try one out, you won't be disappointed. Thanks for watching.